Have you ever felt so truly seen by someone that it felt like it changed something deep inside you? We usually chalk that up to just an emotional experience, right? But what if it's actually a measurable biological event? Well, today, we're going to dive into the incredible science of how human connection literally rewires our brains and our nervous systems to heal.
Okay, let's just start with this idea right here because it's a big one. This isn't just a nice sentiment or a feel-good quote. It's a radical, scientifically testable hypothesis, and it's really the core of what we're breaking down today. We're going to unpack the hard science that shows how the simple act of one person really attuning to another is one of the most powerful forms of medicine we have.
So, how are we going to build this case? Simple. First, we'll get into the biology of empathy, what I like to call the neural dance of connection. Then we'll explore the science of safety and how our nervous systems are constantly talking to each other. After that, we'll see how these connections physically rewire the brain. And finally, we'll look at what all of this means for the future paradigm of medicine.
All right, let's jump right into part one. To really get how relationships heal, we have to start small. At the level of individual brain cells. These tiny biological mirrors inside our heads that allow us to feel felt.
So meet the mirror neuron. These things are just remarkable. They are the biological foundation of empathy. When you see someone smile, your own mirror neurons for smiling fire up, almost as if you were smiling yourself. And this is not a metaphor. It's a shared neural event happening in real time. It's why when a therapist truly deeply listens, it's not just symbolic. Your experience is genuinely being reflected in their brain.
And this whole mirroring thing, it scales up. It's not just about single neurons. Brain imaging studies have shown something pretty mind-blowing. During those moments of deep connection, entire emotional centers in two completely separate brains start firing in sync. We're talking about areas like the insula and the anterior cingulate cortex. They literally get on the same wavelength. It's a measurable inter-brain coupling. Two brains acting as one.
And get this synchrony isn't just some cool side effect. It is directly tied to progress. Research shows that these moments of, it's called high-frequency gamma band synchrony. You can just think of it as the brainwave state of an aha moment. Well, they correlate with therapeutic breakthroughs an astonishing 85% of the time. The big takeaway here is that healing happens when consciousness itself becomes shared.
Okay, so that neural mirroring creates this feeling of being understood. But for real, lasting healing to happen, our entire body needs to get the message that it's safe. So this next section is all about how our nervous systems communicate that safety, usually way below our conscious awareness.
The name for this process is neuroception. You can think of it as your nervous system's ancient built-in surveillance system. Millisecond by millisecond, it's scanning the people around you, scanning the environment, looking for cues of safety or danger. It happens way faster than thought, and it's what determines the biological state your body is in at any given moment.
And broadly speaking, our nervous system has two main settings. On the left, you've got the defensive states, fight, flight, or freeze. This is our go-to when we feel threatened. But on the right, you have the ventral vagal state. This is our social engagement system. It's the biological platform for connection, for calm, for curiosity. And here's the crucial part. You cannot be in both states at once. Deep, transformative healing can only happen from that state of safety.
So what actually signals safety to that subconscious system? Well, it's not big, grand gestures. It's the subtle biological cues that a calm, regulated person naturally gives off. A musical tone of voice, gentle eye contact, an open, expressive face, even the rhythm of their breathing. These are like a universal language that tells our nervous system, hey, you're safe here, you can let your guard down.
And the data on this is just wild. It shows you exactly how important this physiological safety is. When researchers measured the synchrony of heart rate patterns, a state they call HRV coherence, which basically just means two hearts are beating in a similar, stable rhythm, they found it could predict therapeutic success with 73% accuracy. Think about that for a second. The rhythm of two hearts is a better predictor of success than what people said they felt. Our bodies know when we're in sync, sometimes even better than our conscious minds do.
Okay, so we've established that this attuned connection creates neural synchrony and a feeling of physiological safety. But the big question is, do these in-the-moment states actually create lasting change? And the answer is a resounding yes. Let's look at how these relationships literally reshape our brain and body over the long haul.
So when we feel safe and connected, our brain releases this incredible cocktail of healing neurochemicals. You've got oxytocin, the bonding hormone, which promotes trust.
You get a hit of dopamine that reinforces how good connection feels, making us want more of it. Serotonin comes in to help stabilize our mood, and our body's own natural opioids provide comfort and soothe distress. This isn't just about feeling good, it's the exact neurochemical environment the brain needs for growth and repair.
And with all that chemical support, the brain actually gets to work rebuilding itself. Long-term therapy doesn't just change your perspective, it physically changes the architecture of your brain. Studies show things like an increase in the size of the hippocampus, which is crucial for memory and stress. And maybe even more importantly, it strengthens the highways between our rational brain, the prefrontal cortex, and our emotional brain, the limbic system. That means better emotional regulation is literally getting wired into your hardware.
Now, this rewiring process, it tends to happen in phases. It all starts with building that crucial foundation of safety and co-regulation with another person. Then from that safe base, we can start to recognize our old, unhelpful patterns. After that comes the slow, steady work of building new neural pathways through new, repeated positive experiences. And finally, those new pathways become integrated, embodied, they become our new default.
And if you thought this was all just in the brain, think again. The impact of connection goes way deeper, right down into our immune system. Healing relationships have been shown to significantly reduce key inflammatory markers. You can think of these as the body's biological stress alarms. We're seeing drops of up to 42% in things like TNF-alpha. I mean, these are the kinds of drops you see from taking powerful anti-inflammatory medication. A safe, attuned presence is quite literally medicine for the body.
So when you put all this evidence together, the neural mirroring, the nervous system co-regulation, the brain rewiring, the immune system modulation, it all points toward a pretty revolutionary new way of thinking about mental health. It's a shift from just fixing symptoms to something much, much bigger.
See, the old model looks at a person as a collection of symptoms, a pathology that needs to be fixed. But this new paradigm, let's call it field mapping, it looks at the whole person inside their relational world. It assesses the dynamic patterns of connection and the regulation of their nervous system. The focus totally shifts from what's wrong with you to what's happening in the field around and within you.
And this new paradigm actually changes the very words we use. So a prescription becomes presence modulation. The therapist uses their own regulated presence as the intervention. Compliance becomes co-regulation, this collaborative dance between two nervous systems. And the whole idea of expertise shifts to attunement, the skill of just deeply sensing and responding to another person. It's a huge move away from a top-down model to a truly collaborative one. This quote just perfectly captures the essence of this whole shift. Healing isn't about an expert coming in to fix a broken part. It's about providing a clear, coherent, regulated mirror that allows a person's own system to remember its natural state of health and organize itself back into coherence. You're facilitating an innate process, not imposing an external fix.
And all of this leaves us with one last big idea to really chew on. What if we've been looking at this all wrong? What if things like anxiety or depression or distraction, what if they aren't pathologies to be stamped out, but are actually signals, invitations from our own system, asking us to slow down, to reconnect, and to rediscover the natural rhythm and coherence that is our biological birthright?